A Gathering of Days, A New England Girl's Journal, 1830 to 32, a novel by Joan W. Bloss. Chapter 1. Sunday, October 17th, 1830. I, Catherine Cabot Hall, age 13 years, 7 months, 8 days, of Meredith in the state of New Hampshire, do begin this book. It was given to me yesterday, my father returning from Boston, Massachusetts, where he had gone to obtain provisions for the months ahead. My father's name is Charles Hall. I am daughter also of Hannah Cabot Hall, dead of a fever these 4 long years, and older sister to Mary Martha, whose dark curling hair resembles our mother's, but I have our mother's blue eyes. My dearest friend is Cassie. The shipman's farm lies south of ours, and is rather large. Kathy is older than I by a year, but the same in height. We tell each other everything, and each of us in the other's dear heart finds secret dreams reflected. Cassie's brothers are David Horatio, older by a full 2 years, Asa Hale, my age exactly, and William Mason, the youngest. He is but a baby, and called by everyone Willie. This day, being the Sabbath, we attended services both morning and afternoon. Tuesday, October 19th, 1830. This will be the precept the teacher set out today. Let thy words be plain and true to the thoughts of thy heart. These be the thoughts of my heart, that I may remain here forever and ever, here in this house which my father has built with the labor of his 2 hands, that no harm come to those I love, father and my sister Mattie, Cassie and the Shipman family, and father's brother, our Uncle Jack, who mills when he needs money and never took a wife. Also, that I may train myself to want to do what I am asked to do. Last and most bitter of all to confess, I wish that my hair were curly as Mattie's is, and our mother's. Thursday, October 21st, 1830. Teacher Holt commended me for writing with a finer hand than I have displayed before. Still must my capitals be improved, achieving a better flourish. This night, Father told us a story after the supper hour. A man had lost 4 hogs in the woods and went there to retrieve them. Before he had gone very far on his way, a headless woman rose up before him, spectral and blocking the path. As might he expected, he fled the spot. But thinking on it, when he woke in the morrow, and still much the poorer for the loss of the hogs, he ventured back again. There he discovered that his apparition was naught but the rooty tangle of a fallen tree. Animals had gnawed some portions away, thus suggesting the shape and the shading and the woman's arms, as he had supposed, were but a pair of large roots, bent at an equal angle. The lesson, as Father put it to us, is that intelligence must prevail, for had the fellow not returned, he'd have suffered all his days, victim of an ignorant fear, no better than the meanest man or least instructed child. Friday, October 22nd, 1830. We had a visitor today, but nearly failed to admit him. No callers, surely, were expected, and peddlers, tinkers, and the like will not come by till spring. Thus we ignored the rattling latch at times. At times the wind will mislead us, so until a voice called out. It proved to be our Uncle Jack, and though he protested, he was just passing by. I thought he meant to visit. He brought some store sweets, wrapped in paper, and consented to have some cider. Tuesday, October 26th, 1830. Winter is coming on. There was ice across the trough this morning, and frost on the upper meadows. Uncle Jack to visit again. Father could scarce believe 'twas so, but Uncle Jack had read in the paper where a Mr. Samuel Newell had raised a white potato to better than 24 inches, taken in girth round. But here comes our uncle with the paper itself, and printed just as he told us. Then nothing would do but down to the cellar to hunt the search for the largest of ours, and carry it up for measure amidst such speculation. when I could wait the supper no longer, having earlier raised the pot from the fire, but still was scorching threatened. I ventured to invite our guests and soon set out a pleasant meal, Uncle Jack joining us gladly. Later, Father praised me direct, saying that I was a pride and a comfort, and added directly after that, "There's many a full-grown woman here would not do as well." I shall not forget his words, and am resolved that for all my days I shall essay such tasks and virtues as may sustain his comfort and increase his pride. Monday, November 1st, 1830. Only 3 more weeks remain until Thanksgiving Day. I must attach my new lace collar to my Sabbath dress. Also, it being snug for me, I must take up the patterned frock which I've given to Maddie. She can use it nicely, I think, together with her new knit stockings and red morocco boots that were mine once also. Cassie and I and Mrs. Shipman have already begun the preparations for the Thanksgiving meal. The cakes we make first are those that keep best in the cellars cool. Last week we turned out some gingerbread. Today we made a Yankee cake and a firm plum pudding. Mrs. Shipman's sister in Salem had sent a new recipe for this, but as we had no currants, we had to do without. Thursday, November 4th, 1830. Returning home from school this day, I had a dreadful fright. Clearly, I saw presented to me in the dark silhouette a lanky man, his coat all tattered against the sky, his bony hand above his eye as if to give it shade. Although I quickly pointed him out, so swiftly did he vanish away that nothing remained when Cassie and Asa obeyed my pointing finger. Then, stumble-tongued, I must explain what I had wished them to see. Asa remembered the headless woman and that story's teaching. From this he determined that nothing would do unless we followed after. Cassie, ever more prudent, demurred, therefore must I, as the third of the party, cast the deciding ballot. As it was coming on to dark, and I still had our supper to set, I announced with Cassie. Asa, at this, scowled ruefully. But soon thereafter we all joined hands, and in most perfect companionship resumed the homeward journey. Friday, November 5th, 1830. Along the road and in the fields is neither green nor white of snow, all in sere and brown. So much farther one can see now that the leaves are gone. Only the faithful evergreens guard the margins of our fields and keep the forest's secrets. "Look, Kath," Maddie calls to me, her small face muffled and cold. "My breath is frosting like Babe and Nellie's." Then she lows, as oxen will, till I am quite ashamed. Saturday, November 6th, 1830. Mrs. Shipman called on Father. The purpose was to present to him that her sister will visit from Salem. Now she called her the unmarried one, and said she would stay a while. Of this he assured her he was glad, and hoped they both would enjoy renewal of old and sisterly ties. There being nothing further to say, they spoke of other matters. He will build the cupboard she needs. She, exchanging service for service, agrees to provide continued instruction in the diverse household arts to myself and Maddie. "'Tis hard," she sighed, "the loss of a mother and her gentle guidance." "We do all right," I heard him say. "Now I've no wish to offend you, Em, but we do all right," he repeated. November 7th, 1830, the Sabbath day. Uncle Jack and we 3 also visited the Shipmans after morning service. Mr. Shipman and Father remarked how frequent are the instances of bound boys run away. When they were lads, or so they say, it was much less common. Now each week's courier displays a greater and more petulant number of master's advertisements. Will no longer be responsible for, any having knowledge of, the subscriber wishes to state. "And what would you do?" our Uncle Jack asks. "Were such a fellow hereabouts and known by chance to you?" "Turn him out and turn him in," is Father's prompt reply. "But Charlie," Uncle Jack pursues, "supposing the boy were right to run off?" "He couldn't be that. To my way of thinking, bound being bound to stay. Besides, I'd not want to intermeddle. No, you'd have to do it, and do it clean. Send the vagrant, whatever his claim, back to where he belonged. Father believes, as he's often said, that man's intelligence is given to him that he may distinguish right from wrong, and knowing right may do so. Some think him too severe in this. It is not that, but honor.